Another settlement has sent word that they need our help. Here's where they are. I hope you can help them. We've got to show people they can count on the Minutemen again.
Well, let's get to it.
All right. Welcome to the Peak of Fiction podcast, everyone. Today we're doing a quick little extra episode on the Fallout TV show. And we're going to get a double, two different perspectives here, because we have myself, who is a Fallout veteran, quote unquote, and Super O, who has never touched any of the games. So,
what's good, everyone? What's good? You know, it's your boy. I do have a little experience with Fallout. You see, my ex and I used to argue a lot, and we really had this. We really fell out. She's
okay.
no longer. She's no longer with me.
This is terrible. This is great. We're trying to keep people in the first few minutes. Not make them click off the video. This is very important.
They're invested.
They're invested. Okay. All right. Anywho. So for me personally, as someone who's played the Fallout games, I will say I'm not a full-blooded Fallout super expert veteran. People will probably call my fraud card because I've only played the Bethesda games, and I have not played Fallout 1 or 2. I'll let you know. What's the question?
Is 1 or 2 not Bethesda too?
Not Bethesda. No. It was a different company. I believe Obsidian. The original Fallout was made by a guy, Tim Kaine, and it was an isometric RPG. And a lot more. It's probably a lot more grimy, a lot more gritty when it came to like the plot and whatnot. And a lot more deep in the like RPG part of the RPG. But when Bethesda got hold of the series and it came out with Fallout 3, which was my introduction to the series, and Fallout 3 takes place in Washington, D.C., it was a 3D, kind of first-person action game, like in the vein of like Skyrim. Much more of a shooter, a little less than the RPG options, admittedly. And, for a lot of people, that was their introduction to Fallout. And for a lot of old Fallout fans, that means you are a, bandwagon or casual. But what can you do? I also played New Vegas through, which I think is like a really incredible game. Now that was made by Obsidian, not Bethesda, and was made on a let's say a lighter budget with less time, but they still managed to put together like just a complete banger of a RPG, like a lot more depth in choice and decisions, like a lot of memorable characters and memorable moments, really great soundtrack. And New Vegas is important because it is the setting for Fallout, the Fallout TV show, the second season. Right now they're kind of entering the area around Las Vegas, and New Vegas, in the story, in the Fallout lore, is kind of this hub built by Robert House that he managed to protect most of it from the nuclear bombs that went off during the Great War. Because he had a little heads up on things that were happening, and he had a pretty good like missile grid defense system and was able to kind of keep it pretty close to what it was in the past. Of course, it's still post-apocalypse, but, there's gambling, there's this and that, and the house is run by, New Vegas is run by Mr. House. He kind of keeps, like, a tight leash of the city. Now, of course, then after that, I played Fallout 4, a game I've put dozens and dozens of hours into, but have yet to finish because the story gets kind of in the second half. But tons of mods, tons of different things. And I've watched all the lore videos and done the Fallout icebergs, so I know a lot of the background information as well. That's my kind of like basis coming into this show. And I'll say, as someone with knowledge, the most interesting part about the Fallout TV show is it takes place after all of the games, right? Canonically, it takes place after all the games. And also it has footage and has like scenes that take place before the games, like, the flashbacks. So there's a lot of different lore things going on, that people have different opinions on, of course. I find it interesting. And I want to say the most interesting thing about any kind of lore differences between the show and the game is the fact that they're setting up that Mr. House is alive,
Mm.
which is something that may or may not be true depending on your decisions in New Vegas. And a lot of and this is gonna come up is I believe that they're gonna have to pick like a canon route for New
I see.
Vegas. And that's interesting because there's not really there's many different ways you could go for that. But as someone who is just coming off of this first season, right, and watching the first episode of this season, what did you think about Fallout, the TV show season 2?
Season 2 or just in general?
I'll say let's talk about season 2. Oh, we
Uh,
can do in general though. Yeah, you can bring in general too. Yeah.
yeah. In general, I really like the show. Like you mentioned before, my Fallout knowledge is very minimum, and by very minimum, I mean none. Uh, I did get Fallout. One of my friends did give me Fallout 4 for a
hmm
moment, and I did try to play it, but like I never really got too into it. I was like 5 minutes in, and I'm like, okay, I'll probably play this again, and then I just never touched it. uh, but no, I really enjoyed the show and how it presented the apocalyptic world. Because especially when they flash back to the past, it does take place around like the 1900s, I believe. But at the same time,
Well,
oh, is
actually,
that okay? Maybe I
actually,
got it wrong.
the flashback takes place in the I think what 2020s,
Oh,
or not
really?
2020s. Oh, not 2020s. The war happens in I believe 2077
Oh,
is
okay.
when the Great War takes place.
Okay.
So
See, it's the aesthetic of the
the
the,
aesthetics,
the aesthetic
yes.
is very 1900s, even though they got future. Okay, that's why I thought it was like they go like, oh, okay, it's back then, but they got futuristic tech, sort of similar to like Fantastic Four.
It's already
In
retro futurism.
Yeah, I think it works really well with the setting. And then when you go into the future, into the current grid, it's all just like desolate, and there's all these like different like radio bandits and radioactive ghouls, and it's hell on earth. Uh, but I really like the portrayal of everyone. I really like the characters as well. Lucy's a very interesting protagonist to follow as she was in these votes, which as I learned, each vote is different or have like their own different set of rules. Where
Each vote is a experiment.
Yeah,
Well,
social
most
experiment.
most they're social experiment or actual experiment.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like that one. I like that one with the where the guys who are on having
Yeah,
like Cyclops eyes and whatnot.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I like the fact that she's from the vote and she's been like sheltered all her life, and then when she goes in, it's like a complete like 180 on like the outside, and everyone's not so nice and not so direct. It's really cool. I felt like I was kind of with her because as someone who's never played the game, I just felt like I was with her experiencing the world for the first time alongside with her and being like, wow, this is all very bizarre.
It's not ideal.
No,
It's
it
not
is.
ideal.
And the ghoul guy is also pretty cool. I don't know if he's like a legitimate character in the
These are all
game.
new characters.
Oh, okay,
Um, with the exception of Mr. House, these are all new characters
okay, that's
inhabiting
cool.
this world.
Yeah, I like the ghoul guy. I can't remember his name, but
Cooper.
Cooper, yes, yeah, Cooper is great as the just like cowboy bandit type deal he got going on.
Yeah, and he's like super jaded and cynical because
Hmm.
he's been alive since the war went off. Um, so he's like what 200 years old or something like that. He's like, yeah, it's his perspective on things are a little bit uh different.
Yeah, you can see how much it changed him, especially like because he used to be like because he's an actor and he's kind of like the poster child, I guess you could say. He's a poster child of like the if I can remember correctly, was he being like was he the model for the Pip Boys?
Develop Boy, yeah.
Yeah, the Vote Boys. Uh the and like you could see how like as the series goes on, or as you see his like flashbacks, and we even get more of this in like the first episode of the second season too, about how much like he regrets like helping these guys because he was just a propaganda piece. He was just being used as a sort of propaganda piece for like the votes. And then when you realize, oh, actually, y'all are shisty, everything just starts blowing up. You know, alarms start going off. His daughter's in danger. Like it's really cool. And I also just like Lucy's brother as well. The whole side plot of him looking through the other vote, and seeing like the truth and seeing how like all the rich guys from the past, you know, cryostasis themselves.
Well, not rich. Not
They're not
rich.
rich. They
They're not
don't
rich.
seem really
No.
they're giving me rich
They
vibes.
are no, the experiment that's going on with Fault 31 and 32 and 33 is that it is a vault where the leaders of the vault, right, all come from I think what Vault 31, which is kind of sealed off from the other vaults. It's either Vault 31 or 33, but um, all those people in cryostasis are middle managers. They,
Are they? Is that it? Like
yes, yeah, yes,
like
they're
I mean,
all
like
they're all Vault Tech middle managers from before the war because the idea was that you could shepherd uh society, right? You could shepherd the future by basically having all these trained middle managers. Once the apocalypse went through, they could rise up, from the ashes and rebuild society. So that's why they're all kind of weird. So all the leaders, like the girl and lady with the eye patch, the older woman, right?
yeah.
And even the McLean, like Lucy's dad, are all from that middle management program that Vaultec had. So they all have a little more knowledge than like your average overseer would, like Fallout like situation. But that's why they're all kind of like cheery psychos at the
Yeah, I was
same
getting
time.
yeah, low key. I was getting like politician vibes from them, low key. Like, so that's why I just assumed. But yeah, I really I mess with the lore and the side plot. And after watching the first season, I remember being like, wow, this is great. Let me delve more into the lore and play go back to playing Fallout 4. I never wanted to get back to playing
You just
Fallout
never did
4.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I never got
Yeah.
and then it got forgotten into the annals of time. But this time for sure. This time for sure.
This time for sure. I'd recommend actually it's an old game, but I recommend if you can get a copy of New Vegas somehow. Either on PC or I think there might be a version on PS5, but New Vegas is pretty solid. It's the most relevant to this thing, and I think it's the best written of the like new gen kind of Fallout games. And of course it is an old game, but it's still I think it has a lot of like depth to it. And this is going into my lore corner here. And what I'm curious about, I'm going to give you a quick summary of New Vegas. And this is skipping a lot of the intricacies. This is kind of spoilers, but not really.
Okay.
The basic idea of Fallout New Vegas is you play a character called the Courier, and you've been assigned. You have a package that you've been assigned to deliver to, I believe, Mr. House, right? And the package that you are delivering is the platinum chip. You don't know what the platinum chip is, but everybody wants the platinum chip, right? But before the game starts, you get jumped. Your character is jumped, and a guy named Benny shoots you in the head, right? He has like a really great line of like, from where you're standing, it might seem like you had a 24 karat like run of bad luck, but the truth is, the game was rigged from the start. Then he pops you, and then so you get saved right? And the bullet gets taken out of your head. But this is an excuse for why you have no memories or connections to anything else. But now you're like, okay, I want to get the guy who shot me, and also want to figure out what's going on with why I was shot, right?
Mhm.
So from there's a bunch of different factions in the world. The two main ones are the NCR, which we saw last season, right? Those are the people that were working with that I forget her name. Begins with an M. The lady from who attacked the vault in season 1, who's with Lucy's mom and all that. We'll pull it up on the screen. But anyways, she was working with the NCR, and the NCR are the New California Republic. They are like they try their hardest to have a legitimate government, right? That kind of mirrors what like old, governments would be, right? But they're kind of like frontiersmen. Um, they can be a little bit colonialist, a little bit. They're not perfect. But they have like you probably seen in the last season the NCR Ranger. They have those really cool helmets with like the red goggles. And they're kind of like protecting territory. They get washed last season. They get washed hard. And the second faction in New Vegas is the Caesar's Legion. And the NCR has problems. Okay, it's a very imperfect system. But, and I don't care who may tell you otherwise, the Caesar's Legion are a bunch of like fascist psychos who are all cosplaying like ancient Romans. So they wear like they'll have like biker armor and like helmets and stuff, but they'll style them like they're like Roman centurions, right?
Mhm.
And like one also the society is very patriarchal, right? No woman allowed.
All boys
You
club.
know, when the only role for the women is to be like caretakers and to make children. They do slavery, um, and they are like super murderous. But somebody, I guarantee, you will say, "Whoa, but the Caesar's Legion actually was efficient in their government, and
Mm.
and their policies, and their policies of integration were actually better." Shut up, okay?
You don't understand. Their politics work. I mean, yes, yeah. If put aside the slavery, the assault,
Okay,
and the
your first interaction of Caesar's Legion in the game is you go to the town of Nipton, right?
Mhm.
And as you go to the town, you see that everyone in the town has been crucified, and they've been crucified on the road, right? Because like they cross the Legion the wrong way. That's what we're dealing with.
Well,
Um,
no organization is perfect.
no, you're right. No organization is perfect, and it's run by a guy named Caesar, or as he calls himself, Kaiser. And he's like a relatively smart person, right? With like a cult of personality, but you know everything in that, as effective as Legion may be, every single story element is telling you that once Caesar dies, Legion's cooked as an organization. And if you do a little digging, he might not have a lot of time left. So you pick a side, right? Or there's a third option, right? Where you can say, I'm the enlightened centrist. I will not do the NCR. I will not do the Legion. Instead, I will work directly for Mr. House, right? Who
Mhm.
wants his chip back. And the platinum chip allows Mr. House to basically have control over regain control over his full missile systems, activate all his like Securitron robots, and basically be like a kind of unstoppable force in the wasteland, right? So
Mhm.
he wants that back. So you can either work for the house or you can take out Mr. House and you can basically run it yourself as in like a completely independent New Vegas. And then also everyone's fighting over the Hoover Dam during this because whoever gets the Hoover Dam basically gets control of electricity in the wasteland because
Well,
it's a
damn.
hydroelectric, yeah, big, yeah, well, dam. It's a big hydroelectric dam. So that's like a super, simplification. There's a bunch more factions. There's a bunch of like cool little weird stuff because it takes place in New Vegas. There's a gang called the Kings, um, and their entire gimmick is they're all Elvis impersonators. Um, and they don't even know why, who the quote unquote king is. They just found they just happened, like, the leader, I guess a long time ago, found like a Elvis impersonation school which had a bunch of like outfits from his different acts and whatnot. And they found, like, the instructions on how to like style yourself like Elvis, and no one knows who Elvis is. No one. But all they know is like the king, baby. There was just fella named the King, and we're gonna take after. We're gonna honor his name.
Was there a prince?
Prince is a little too far ahead in the for the 50s aesthetic, but so there's a bunch of cool stuff. It's a fun game. And that's why I'm getting like the super mutant factions or the other individual like people and groups and this and that. But this is all to tie into the main, show. I'm very curious what they're going to do because from the trailers, there appears to be the Caesar's Legion, at least a remnant of the Caesar's Legion. I doubt Caesar will be here. I think he'll be fully dead. There's no way like he'll still be around. So you probably have like the last remnant of Caesar's Legion. And the question is, will Mr. House be here? Because Mr. House, he did not like cryostasis himself. What he did was he hooked up his body into like a pod and connected himself to all the electronics in the city. And that's how he like lives on for like 200 years later.
So his soul controls like everything.
Kind of, yes. But like Mr. House himself is like a shriveled like corpse, barely alive corpse by held up by electronics, like in his secure like safe room. So I assume Mr. House will still be there. I just assume they'll do that and they'll do the big reveal. But it leaves the big question is, where's the courier? Right? Where is the main player character from New Vegas? What'd he do? Where'd he go? He was a pretty big deal. And we're going to run very close to like canon decisions that they make. And I think that is like potentially dangerous territory, in my opinion.
It's going to be wild. I didn't see the trailer for this season actually coming out. Honestly, when it got released, I didn't even know it was released until you told me. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll hop on that. So everything is going to be like super new to me. I am after you hear how Mr. House is, he sounds like a very interesting character. And if this season doesn't show him, I'll do some research. Look him up because
I find it very interesting. He's like, he's depicted kind of decently. I'm gonna be the lore guy. Like, oh, that's actually not like a thing. So okay, let's go break down like the episode like more in depth, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe it starts off with like a flashback in the past of Mr. House in a bar, and he starts a fight with these guys. And
that was Mr. House.
Yes, that was Robert House.
Yeah,
right. And he pokes that guy in the back of his neck with like the control chip, and like sees what happens.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I feel like when he was in the bar giving his speech, that felt very Mr. House. I don't see Mr. House poking people like that. That's not his vibe. Right? I don't see Mr. House getting his hands dirty that like
just up close.
Up close. That doesn't feel like Mr. House. But hey, I guess when he was young and spry.
Yeah. When his arms worked, you get away with it.
It's a good scene. It's definitely a striking scene. I feel like this season has a lot more head explosions.
Yeah. I mean, it might
just a lot of.
It might just be the first episode, but yeah, there's a bunch.
There's a lot of explosion, a lot of body explosions, in this first episode. but yeah, so from, the house, you get cut back to, Lucy and, the ghoul in the future. Lucy's still on her, like, you
Good.
know, "Maybe we can all talk it through," which is like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I thought we already learned about, talking it through
Yeah, I'm
last
surprised
season.
she's still kinda like that. I thought she'd be a bit I mean, she's and now she does, like, shoot back and, you know, does fight, but she's not as cutthroat, yet.
I don't want her to be jaded, right? I don't want that for her character. I think it's cool if she still stays cheery and happy, but I don't want her to be, like, stupid either, right? I think there's, like, an in between there we
That's
can
fair.
we can achieve.
That
Um,
that's fair. But I think the goofiness of, some of how the world could get, it kinda she kinda fits in. She kinda feels like a Borderlands type,
mhm.
character, you know? Uh
It's like if you played Fallout, it's like she keeps doing speech checks, on NPCs and, like, failing them. Like, her speech skill's not high enough to do these checks, but she keeps going for, like, the speech checks, and it just doesn't work.
Just like, hey, so I just gotta pull the trigger or something. Like, let's talk it out, you know? That this isn't you, bandits.
And in my first, well, actually, I had 2, like, pog moments of, like, I understood that reference, and the first one was, they're not just regular bandits, they're the Khans, um, which is a group of, bandits that style like, biker gang types that style themselves off of Genghis Khan and the Mongols.
Oh, okay.
You don't really get that, you really don't get that too much in, that depiction, but that's the current kinda gimmick. They're not as, like, strong in their, like, dedication to their style as, like, Caesar's Legion, but,
Mhm.
they're that. And the second Pog moment was, they played Big Iron when, the ghoul was popping off, and that was
Oh,
pretty cool.
is that a big Fallout song?
That is the New Vegas song, okay?
Oh, okay, okay.
Like, the New Vegas song is well, there's 2. It's either, I just okay, there's 3. I would say there's 3 New Vegas songs. There's, Spurs That Jingle Jangle, right? Ain't That a Kick in the Head, and Big Iron. Those are, like, the main, like, big 3 when it comes to the New Vegas song, so they know what they're doing. I now, once again, this is me being a lore nerd. I mean,
Mhm.
maybe, while I appreciate the fan service, maybe you could have utilized Big Iron in a different scene for a better effect. But, I digress. I digress.
Well, actually. But yeah, no, I thought it was cool how we were played. But that's interesting.
And then, of course, we cut back to the vault and, all the happenings in there. Um, Norm is still hacking it. He's still
Yeah.
trying.
He's he's still
He's
he's
not
walking
giving
in
up.
now though. He's finally like,
Yeah.
hey, yeah, you know what? I'm actually mobile and I could kick the syringe. So let me just
Hmm.
do that.
So I find that's interesting. It is also interesting at how, especially the lady is trying to manage her vault, and it's really filled with some very stupid people.
Yeah,
Um,
weirdos.
they're very, like, sheltered and kind of dumb. The vault 30 people.
Yeah.
Um, like that guy. It was a really great scene where the guy was like, I don't know where everything is. I keep getting lost. It's like it's just the same floor plan, but the opposite. So just go the other way. It's like, well, maybe we should make signs. I don't, that's great.
Yeah, that got me along with the scene where they were in the intervention about
Oh yeah, yeah.
because like
Your
she's
parents are related.
and I was still like, wait, you're trying to stop incest? Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. All those goofy vault bits are great and feel like pretty accurate to I would say, like, the main story. But from there, from those moments. Of course, we have them continuing to travel across the Mojave desert. Um, once again, running into like more, I would say, random NPCs, like the person selling flea soup. Um,
Mhm. Yeah,
that that I think that was a little too bizarre, in
you
my
don't think that,
opinion.
that's not a normal Fallout?
That's
Is
that's
he-
just that's just a little that's just a little bit too bizarre for
even
me.
Google, even Google looking like that, like we don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
We
that was a little too far out there,
don't.
in my opinion. Uh, but then we get, like, seeing, like, the other vaults, right? They come across another vault, when they're trying to track Lucy's dad, and I think that vault was pretty interesting, seeing, like, all the people who were experimenting on with, like, the mind control chips, right? Some of them were converted to communism. You had the one guy who was like, kept repeating, like, "I'm gonna fix everything before his head explodes." It's interesting. And, I'm interested in seeing where it's going,
Yeah,
but like I don't know. I don't know. My mind control chip thing is kind of like I feel like there's more interesting routes
is my
to
control
go
chip
in.
reference to anything? I was thinking
It's
that
not a
was like,
direct reference. There's like, I mean, it's Fallout, so there's like a several ways people have been hypnotized or mind controlled or whatever, or you put a bucket hat on everybody and they all go, because it is Fallout is so steeped in like that kind of 50s sci-fi aesthetic. So
mm,
if you think of anything that could have happened in like a 50s sci-fi kind of comic or novel or whatever, it's gonna happen in Fallout. Right. So including all the alien stuff. So any of like the kind of early sci-fi, early like superhero stuff is all kind of present there.
mm,
But this being like the big plot line for Mr. House feels weird, especially given that Mr. House already had a kind of big plot line in New Vegas. I understand we can't just do New Vegas again, but it feels weird in my opinion. But I'll give it time to develop.
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I'm curious to see where this where this thread leads. Uh, I hope we see. I mean, most likely we'll see, but he just popped up to me. I hope we see more Maximus.
Yes, yes, sir. There's Maximus free episode. That's very sad. What are my boys doing?
Yeah, bring my brother back, bruh.
My favorite weird, cowardly but brave, what's it? Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah.
Brotherhood of Steel is also interesting. I do appreciate that they're more in line with the games and they are not like noble, righteous, kind of like
Mhm.
knights in armor. Some of the games have like wrongly characterized them as that, but no, they are a weird kind of cultish organization with bad policies. Um,
Yeah.
and some whatever intentions. So I'm curious whatever Maximus has going on. I can't wait to see how that ultimately plays out.
Yeah.
Um, but the big setup at the end is the dad reaches like some sort of Vault-Tec headquarters, and
Oh, yeah.
he's ready to either start up his experiments again. He has a suit on, and you know, I believe what he wants is to kind of push Vault-Tec's agenda forward. And especially if they revealed last season that his issue with the surface was there was people on it. and and like the kind of goal was kind of set up what the vote really wants is they just kind of want to clear the area. And then, once the area is clear, the middle managers can inherit the earth. Um which is so grim. That's such a grim prospect of like that in between guy who's like, oh, the guy who's really annoying at the water cooler, and and is talking to like, did you see the game last week? Is like, yeah, that person is going to be like in control of society.
What could go wrong?
What could go
Okay.
wrong? Um, So I think it's some pretty good setups. This is a pretty good episode. Good use of music. I'm excited to see where it goes because there's so much like that you can draw from in this season. And I have a list of requests that if they are appropriate, I'm not saying don't shove them in there,
Mhm.
but if it works, um,
Let me know.
please, I want super mutants. Um, they're big. Super mutants are these huge, um, green or yellow, sometimes blue guys. Um, well, they all come across as large, like kind of orcish men, but they're gender neutral. Um,
All right, that's very
and
possible.
they are like they're like hyper intelligent, right? Some of them, right? Some of them are stupid, but the original batch are like hyper intelligent, like super soldier kind of guys that were sent out in the wasteland by a character called the Master, whose plan, I think, in Fallout 1 was basically to like populate the world with these like new, like the next evolution of humanity, right? Um, and he found out that actually that was a bad idea. It's like a lot of Fallout bosses, like final bosses. If you have your speech high enough, you can like facts and logic your way into into the final boss just killing themselves. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I can see
but
that.
now since the master's gone, right? A lot of super mutants are just kind of around, um, and they don't have a home or whatever. Some of them have communities and stuff, but they're just kind of around. They're all like soldiers for a war that's already ended, and they're all these huge, freakazoids, um, that terrify most people. So I would love to see a super mutant in the season 2. I already know we're gonna get Death Claws. I cannot wait. We're gonna get which are like kind of a monster, and we're gonna get the Rad Scorpions. But I would like some more like Fallout stuff. Um,
I mean, what would you do if the mind control part this season is actually uh like the people controlled by the mind control chip?
mhm.
You know, they go to Dr. House or wherever the new Mr. House is, and he's like, ah, yes, look at this army I have. There really are some super mutants. It's
I'd be
all just
very upset.
it's
I
all
would be highly upset.
like
Not just me. That would be like a suicide move done by like the writing staff. That'd be so bizarre. That'd be a bizarre choice. But that's cursed. That is cursed. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to see where this story goes from here, and like what is done, with the lore and whatnot. I like changes. I'm okay with changes. I'm not like a purist, right? But as long as it's in service of a good story, right? That's very key. It has to be in service of a good story. And ultimately, just because they change something in the lore in a TV show does not like it's not going to retroactively like alter the script of like a game that I'm playing. Eh, you got to live with it sometimes.
I hear that. I hear that. But yeah, I'm also looking forward to more. This is a really well done show. And I can't wait to see more. You said that New Vegas is your favorite Fallout game, right? If you had to rank all of them, uh how would you rank the Fallout games?
Mm. So there's like this tier from the games I played, like just like New Vegas 4 and 3. It's gonna be New Vegas, uh, probably like 4 and then 3.
Hmm.
It's 4. 4 has good moments, right? But the problem with 4 is they simplified a lot of the RPG elements, right?
Mhm.
Um, and try to make it like more like one of the big problems in 4 is your character is fully voice acted, which you might say that's a problem. But the problem is because characters fully voice acted, instead of having like a whole list of choices and dialogue options, every dialogue option you have 4 choices.
Oh, okay, so greatly
Right.
decreased.
So they have to limit it because the character's voicing. And the choices are kind of bad. Like a lot of the dialogue options are like the good choice, the evil choice, you know, the sarcastic choice, right? Or you're like your two options, right?
Mhm.
And that's kind of like, uh,
It's
it's
very
a little.
telltale like.
Yes, yes, and your choices don't have, like, the same kinda, like, impact, but the trade-off is it has the best gameplay in the series. Like, the gameplay, like, with the guns and the, power armor and, like, the different weapons, all that stuff, fantastic. Like, best in the series, bar none, and it is the best, like, it's the best looking one, it's the newest, and it's a really fun to, like, walk around and explore, like, the Commonwealth, which, like, Boston, right?
Mhm.
In, because that's where it takes place in Fallout 4. That's really cool. The DLC is cool too. Um, but story-wise, I think New Vegas clears it. And I would say 4 and 3 are pretty similar story-wise, like, they both do their own kind of annoying, things. But I think 4 kinda sticks for me a little bit more than 3. Like, 4 has some really good companions and side characters, and, like, 3 just doesn't stick for me in the same way. Um, but New Vegas has, like, the best, like, side characters and, like, some really memorable ones, um, that we probably won't see because of the time difference between, New Vegas and, the Fallout TV show. I
Mhm.
forget how long. It's what, 2281 is when, New Vegas takes place, and the TV show takes place in, I find this out real quick. Okay. The Fallout show takes place in 2296. So it's gonna be about 15 years after New Vegas. So, a lot of those guys are gone. Um or are gonna be old. You got a couple people that could still show up. I'm fingers crossed for a Danny Trejo cameo because Danny Trejo plays a ghoul in New Vegas. So technically he could still be around. He could still be
You can
kicking.
still be cooking.
He could still be kicking, okay? Um, but, like, the rest of them, probably not. And I'm okay with the rest of them, like, not being there because that creates, like, some awkward awkwardness, and then you have to say, because then you have to definitively say, "Well, what happened to him?" And I don't. I'd
You
rather
don't wanna
not.
think about that.
No, no. Also, I know he's a very popular character, but do not touch. I would say it's a bad idea to touch. There's a character called, Joshua Graham.
Mhm.
Um, you've probably seen him, even if you haven't played New Vegas. He's a guy. If you ever seen like a TikTok or something of a guy in like completely bandaged up, right? He's like in kind of like medical bandages, kind of like a mummy, and he has
Mhm.
like armor, like riot police gear armor,
Mhm.
and he's doing like he has a really cool voice. He's doing like Bible quotes. Uh, that's Robert Graham, and he's really cool. Okay, he's really cool. Don't touch him. Don't touch him.
Get your
Okay.
hands off of him, Amazon.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Because like there's no you're gonna fumble him, right? His characterization is he was a legionnaire. Like he was like a top dog legionnaire for Caesar's Legion. Um, but he like fumbled like a battle. So in as his punishment, they set him on fire and
Damn.
threw him off. They set him on fire and like threw him off like a cliff.
Damn.
Um, and he was rescued by like these kind of like tribes of survivors, and they brought him back to health. And in the desert, this kind of takes place in Nevada, he found Mormonism. So he is a Mormon. Like, yeah, he is actually a
Oh,
Mormon,
the Book of Mormon.
right?
That's great.
Yes, like a full on Mormon guy, but he is like a reformed Caesar's Legion guy that like talks about God and stuff. He's like, I was baptized twice, once by fire and then by the Holy Spirit, right? And he's really cool. Okay, he has a really cool perspective as a reformed kind of villain character and whatnot. He has a lot of aura. Don't do it. Don't go there.
Please get your hands off of him.
Yeah. But all right. So I think we're feeling pretty positive on Fallout.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
The next time we have this short episode, we're probably talking about Stranger Things. Get ready, be prepared. At the same time, I promise, I'm going to watch that episode with an open mind, an open heart. Okay? I'm not going to dog on it. I'm going to really try to find enjoyment. Okay? And
You
if I
are the
can,
review of it on
I will.
Letterboxd. You
I'm telling you, bro, I'm going to try. All right? I'm going to give it an honest go.
yeah, that's all anyone asks. Give it as an honest, an open eyes. You know what I mean?
Open eyes, open eyes. But yeah, so hope y'all enjoy yourselves, and we'll catch y'all next time.
See ya, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Catch you later.
There's no change in the plan. Bye.